Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
India is going to start the third phase of vaccination from the 1st of May. Let's try and understand what is different in the vaccine market compared to the first two phases and why it is becoming controversial and what India needs to do. Now, if you look at the third phase, in this, both the demand side and the supply side have changed compared to the first two phases. In the first two phases, the central government said, these are the people who can get vaccines, age above 60, then with above 45, those with comorbidities, and then later in April, those above the age of 45. And now, in the third phase, all adults. So the vaccine hasn't been tried for children. It's not for children. Therefore, almost one should say for everyone who wants to take a vaccine can take the vaccine. But at the same time, the supply side has changed as well, which means that states, companies, institutions who want to administer vaccines to their people, to their employees, can now buy these vaccines from the world, from the vendors who have vaccines that have been approved by regulators in the US, UK, Japan, EU, or are on the WHO list. And they can buy any of these vaccines at a price that they can negotiate and administer these vaccines to their population. Now, the first question that arises is, why is this different? Why is phase 1 and phase 2, which clearly now it's a different market, both the supply side has changed and the demand side has changed, why was there a need for such a change? Now, I think the answer lies in what was happening in terms of the pace at which the central government was providing vaccines. So it was 20 lakh doses a day, 24 lakh doses a day, and these would be administered across the country through state governments to the people to whom it was being given. But now you think about the numbers that were involved. The numbers were, there are about 12 crore people above the age of 60 in the country. And then there are another 30 crore people between the ages of 45 to 59. That means about 42 crore eligible people. And even then, as the system was rolled out, we started seeing supply shortages. Now, one way to go forward was to say that, okay, even if there are supply shortages, we will continue to try to do what we were doing, more of the same. The other answer could be, and there was a lot of argument in favor of this second argument, which is to open up both the demand and the supply. There were many people who were arguing that, the capacity of the state is limited and the capacity of the central government to reach out to everybody is limited. So, let a lot of energy, millions of people, try and solve this problem. At least don't prevent them from solving it. It is not that the government is saying that you are the only ones left to solve it. The government should not say that. It should continue what it is continuing. If it has maxed out at 20 to 25 lakh vaccines being administered every day, then it can continue doing that. But at the same time, allow everybody else to do it. Because even for those who have been given vaccines, it is 12 crore out of a total of roughly 40-45 crore. So those above 45 plus healthcare workers. So out of that, only about, less than a third have actually been given the vaccine so far. The rate at which it was proceeding was, one calculation shows that that's about 6 people per 1,000 were being given a vaccine each day. Per 1,000 of eligible people. Now, when to that you suddenly add the below 45, so the 18 to 45, which is another 60 crore people, are you going to be able to administer that vaccine? Should the central government have continued to prevent state governments and companies and institutions from procuring the vaccine for their workforce? I think the argument that was made was that do not stop anybody from trying to get the vaccine. You continue doing what you can do to the max that you can continue doing. But by stopping people, you are actually slowing down the pace of the vaccine. And that's something that we cannot afford to do, especially after you look at what's happened in the second wave. Now, in the second wave, there are some estimates that show that out of the deaths, about 13 to 14%. So some numbers are 13.6 to 13.8%, especially in the later weeks of April. And these are numbers from Mumbai that show that below 50s are now dying of COVID. That's not something that was happening with the original strain that had come from Wuhan. Now this strain is much more fatal. It is far more virulent, and we cannot afford to say that, oh, only the central government will procure the vaccines. Many state governments are saying that, especially the opposition state governments are saying that the central government should buy the vaccine and give it to us at the same price at which it is buying them. Now, what you have here is that the central government is able to buy so much vaccine at so much price, whether it's because of the negotiations that have been done, whether it is because of its limited state capacity, whether it is because of the limited capacity of the bureaucracy, because, every bureaucrat is scared of how much he is able to do and how much he is able to sign on, regardless of what the facts are in this. The question arises, should others be allowed to go out and buy vaccines? Now, while there is this whole argument that yes, they should be allowed, some state governments argue that, if we do so, then there will be monopolistic pricing by vaccine companies and we'll be fleeced off. Now, let's just look at a few numbers to see if this argument is actually realistic and whether that should stop us or stop state governments from procuring the vaccine. Now, suppose, just for a very rough estimate, you bought the vaccine, a state government bought the vaccine at international prices at 1,000 rupees a dose. So it would mean that 60,000 crores for one dose and 1,20,000 crores for 2 doses would be the sum total of the spend of all state governments plus institutions and companies who want to vaccinate people at international prices. 1,20,000 crore is less than 1% of GDP. When you look at state budgets, the cumulative budget estimate for spending by all states in the country is roughly 40 lakh crore. So this would be roughly 1.2 lakh crore, which is to vaccinate 60 crore people at international prices. So we are estimating them at about 1,000 rupees per dose. But here, if they were to buy the vaccine at half the price, then the price is going to be less than about 50,000 crores. In other words, it would be penny wise, pound foolish to try to quibble on these prices, so fighting over 100 rupees from 400 to 300. Okay, Serum Institute agreed to do that in a day. But if they hadn't, then yes, we could have got the price. We got the price down, by roughly 6,000 crores for the country as a whole. Should we continue to spend time and energy on discussing the price, on discussing who should be paying this 36,000 crore? And yes, the central government can also afford to pay. Yes, the state government can also afford to pay. But I think this is a time when India needs the vaccine more than many other countries. And India might want to outbid other countries and actually pay a higher price for the vaccine, even internationally, because the costs that we are paying in terms of lives, in terms of livelihoods, even governments are paying the cost in terms of loss of revenue, in terms of loss of legitimacy, that this price today is so high that it should not be something for us to quibble about. In fact, if possible, we should even pay for a booster dose in case a booster dose becomes necessary. These are the kind of contracts that other countries went into when they were afraid of what COVID might bring. At present, if the third phase allows people to go out and buy the vaccine at a price which, today, because there are 5 vendors, it is not a monopolistic price. There are 5 vendors across the world who are competing, and they know that there is a short window of time and they want to sell their vaccines. So if you can get the vaccine at a price that is reasonable, that you can pay, then I think the point now is to go out and buy it so that you can vaccinate as many people as possible as soon as possible. And that's where our efforts and our energies have to lie. You can read this column. The link will be given below. This is Ilanomics for this week. And I'll take questions on this and other things in our interactive sessions on Tuesdays at 4 called Ask Ila. Thank you.